I'm J.G. Michael, and this is Parallax Views. Before you get going, I'm glad you mentioned Pennsylvania because I came from Pittsburgh originally, and I knew people that voted for Trump, and I was always surprised because it wasn't like they weren't necessarily even hardcore MAGA people, but they had a lot of discontent. And I'm like, you don't understand. Trump is the opposite of everything he's claiming to be. He's not going to help you. He's not going to help working class people. He's going to fill the pockets of the rich. And one of the weirdest things I've seen with the Trump phenomena is just the fact that, everything they accuse the left of, it's, the left is conspiring. The left wants to get their people richer. That's literally everything that the MAGA movement does. It's filled with grifters accusing everyone on the left of being grifters when it's really the right that are the grifters. And I think this will lead into just maybe giving you a chance to talk about your new novel, Zero Visibility Possible, because I think it deals with this sort of phenomena of, black is white, white is black, and sort of everything's topsy-turvy.
Absolutely. So I wrote this novel 2 years ago, or started working on it 2 years ago, just published it this fall, and it is a short, 50,000 word, tightly written, I'm told. It's getting great reviews. Just a short description of an imagined response to the actual worst mass shooting in American history, which is the Las Vegas shooting. It opens with a short description of that, which is actual event. And then I imagine a group of characters in the media and in Washington and in traveling to New Mexico and Vegas, slowly confronting the wall of disinformation and conspiracy theorizing that starts to come out about this man, who is the character is actually based on the actual shooter. And the theorizing and sort of like there's a Bannon type character who's, it's all about story. We need a hero. And this man, Trump, is our hero. And this, this shooter was obviously a Hillary voter. And then you have, as they go further and further, they start to understand that it's this conspiracy theorizing and this organization, this kind of octopusy organization, is actually running their falling apart legacy media operation. And so it's 3 days in the aftermath of the worst mass shooting in America, and it's about disinformation and about the political use of public trauma. And I think it's really timely, and I've been told it's a great read. So I hope your readers or your listeners will look it up.
I'm definitely going to give it a read. Maybe we can talk about it another time.
I'd
like to read it
because there is a Parallax View sensibility to it.
Real quick, I hope you understood what I was saying earlier about even not just Pennsylvania, but places like, if I go to a state like Ohio, I just see a state that's been wrecked, I think, in my view, by Republican rule. And,
Totally.
What's that?
Totally. And they don't, the Ohio legislature is really one of the most corrupt and autocratic operations in the country. There's a whole book written about this. It's called Laboratories of Autocracy, and it's about the Ohio legislature and what they've done. They are completely bought and paid for by the frackers and the drillers. And they have ravaged Eastern Ohio and the Western Pennsylvania with this fracking. I did a documentary on that for the Norwegian government, Norwegian public broadcasting a couple of years ago, so I spent some time out there. Absolutely the most corrupt operation, and it's completely taken over, gerrymandered, but they've managed to train these working class people that they're not the cause of their problems, that the cause is, and this is what Trump did the minute first day he came down the freaking escalator in 2015. Your problems are due to those brown people who just came over from El Salvador or came up from Mexico. And they have Fox News nightly feeding people that. And, Fox News is one of the great evil empires of our situation.
Well, that's
We hope that Murdoch dies soon and that the two sons, the family is going to inherit it. It is like Succession. The one son who's running it now lives in Australia, totally down with this right-wing bullshit. And the other family members are not down with it. And so one hopes that somehow, some way, they're within that organization, they pull back on this, because it's been a disaster to the American mind.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is, and I'll leave it at this, and we'll wrap on this, but, I don't hate the rural people I've met that are struggling in Pennsylvania or Ohio. I think they've been hoodwinked, though. And, I think they would be better served by a person like Bernie Sanders or people of similar ilk. And they've just been completely hoodwinked by this billionaire-financed Trump phenomena that's lying to them.
Yes. And see, that's where 2016 election, I blame on the Democrats. I think if they had run a Bernie, people are desperate for change. Desperate. And if they had run a Bernie, he was the only one who could speak to and put a very clear distinction between the left and the right. And he talked about it, and enough of these people, they want they want the things that Bernie talks about. They want Medicare for all, and they want a living minimum wage everywhere. And if that happened, I think if this country had those two things, there would be a lot less anxiety and stress that drives people to support the maniac like Trump, a lawless. But that's my opinion.
Well, hey, thank you again, Nina Burleigh, for coming on Parallax Views, and I hope everyone will check out the book, Zero Visibility Possible, and that they'll subscribe to your Substack, American Freak Show.
Right. Thank you so much. Let me know when you post it, and I will share it.